Y'all got to excuse me while I wash the nasty ass taste out of my mouth after that last loss. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. That's right. Appreciate each and every last one of you guys tuning in and watching this episode. Yeah. So please, first and foremost, let's just get the formalities out the way. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching. If this is not your first time watching, if you're a repeat offender, thank you so much for tuning in to Chicago Cubs Central. Once again, we thank you guys. Can't thank you enough. We consistently try to put out the best content on the YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and wherever else we feel we're featured at. With that being said, though, the Chicago Cubs did go ahead and lose to the Minnesota Twins 8-1 in Minnesota. This one got out of control quickly. This game was held down by Shota Imanaga, who I guess held down. He went 6 innings. Shota Imanaga's pitch today. He went 6 innings. Not his best stuff by far. But he grinded through 6 innings. Honestly, the score really should have been a lot worse. It should have been a blowout while Shota was in the game, but you had some spectacular defensive plays from PCA and from Ian Happ, saving runs for Shota Imanaga. He did not look his best today. And I don't know. This game itself, just the way it started off, the Cubs didn't have it today. I don't know if it was the off day that caught them off guard. I don't know if the travel was what got them all riled up or whatnot. But the Chicago Cubs did not look good today. Point blank. Period. Just didn't look good today. I originally said on the episode previewing this series that I thought the Chicago Cubs could go ahead and sweep this series. I looked at the Minnesota Twins record. I looked at who they had pitching, their ERAs. I looked at the team stats, how they have been slumping, hitting. And I said to myself, I was like, Cubs might have a good chance, especially with Shota pitching, in this game. The Cubs might actually have a chance to go ahead and take 3, sweep another series. Yeah. I started hyping myself up for that, wrapping my mind around the thought process that could be a thing. Right, wrong. I was wrong. Chicago Cubs did not score a run until the top of the 9th inning in this game. The Twins defense literally just it wasn't even an offensive game like for the Cubs. Okay, credit to Justin Turner. He was subbed in. He did get his 200th homer of his career. I think it's like 3rd with the Cubs, if that, maybe 2nd. But anyways, I look at this game. I look at what the Chicago Cubs are, and I look at our record. And I'm not necessarily pissed that they lost the game. Listen, you're not going to win every game. You're not. You're just not. What I'm more upset about is this unwillingness from Craig Counsell to put Dansby Swanson where he should be in the batting order. And I feel as though this cost the Cubs the game. I feel like there were multiple opportunities where the Cubs had runners in scoring position. Kyle Tucker and Ian Happ at the top of that order did their part. Both of them went. Ian Happ went 1 for 3. Kyle Tucker went 1 for 2. But both of them took their walks or got their hits. They were on base. The Cubs also didn't steal bags like they normally do either. Usually if the Chicago Cubs are struggling to get runs, if they're in a ballpark where they aren't hitting home runs, aren't hitting the cover off the ball, then normally you'll start to see them do steals or double steals. Now, Kyle Tucker and Ian Happ are both very capable of stealing bags. So I'm kind of wondering why we did not try to, like I said, put pressure on these pitchers. I feel like you allowed a guy in Woods Richardson, who now has a 5-4 record, who originally had a 4-4 record. You let him look like he was a Cy Young type pitcher in this game for the 5 innings he pitched, and then you handed the ball over to a lefty, and the Cubs couldn't hit that lefty. They took a couple walks. They got 2 guys on, and then they brought in a righty that literally took out PCA. I mean, as bad as this is going to sound, said Suzuki, these are kind of the reasons why people don't view you as a threat. This is why you aren't an all-star. Games like this, 0 for 3. You had runners in score position 2 different occasions when you came up to the plate tonight, and you could not capitalize. You're going to have games where you just don't score. The thing is, and I've said this all season long, and I'm going to continue to say this, the thing is you don't want this to multiply into multiple games where you're struggling to score, multiple games where you're falling behind, multiple games where you're finding yourself struggling to get 1 run. And you also don't want to limp to the the All-Star break either. You want to have some success. You, like I said, if you think this Twin series is tough, just wait till you get to the New York, to Yankee Stadium, because Aaron Judge just hit his 35th home run of the season tonight. Cubs got to figure it out. Again, this all could be for naught. This could just be a mirage, a one-day thing. I just don't want to see it multiply. You're allowed, when you're 54-37, 5 games away from the All-Star break, you're allowed to have a bad game. You're allowed to slump. But you don't want to see that multiply. You don't. You don't want this to become contagious. You don't want this to be something where guys can't get the job done or start not consistently not getting the job done for you. Because then you have a serious problem on your hands. The Milwaukee Brewers are 2.5 games back after they beat the Dodgers again. What are the Dodgers good for? What are you good for? Whoop-de-doo, you beat up on Colorado. You sometimes beat the Padres. You basically fare halfway decent against the Giants. Give them a World Series. Go on about it. They paid all that money. Well, actually, I guess they didn't pay a bunch of money, but they put all that hype around Yamamoto and around I forget the other pitcher's name. Anyways, they put all the money. They put all this praise, heap all this praise around these pitchers and all these people that they've signed, and they stink. 1 run against the stinking stupid Brewers, but Mizorowski is a dog, though. He is a dog for the Brewers. Like, that dude is really, really good. I mean, the only run they got was a leadoff home run from Shohei Ohtani, and then after that, it was all Brewers. So yeah, the Brewers are right behind the Cubs. Like I said, they are 52-40. The Chicago Cubs in the standings are 54-37. So, like I said, it's a long season, and the Cubs can't stop playing. The Cubs can't stop hitting. So they will have to do their part in order to make sure that they handle business during this season. Point blank, period. Cade Horton is on the mound tomorrow for Chicago. I sincerely hope that Craig Counsell goes and he looks at the lineup, the batting order, and that he moves Dansby Swanson to an 8 or 9 spot. I understand Dansby's feelings might be hurt. His pride might be a little bit hurt, but maybe that will cause him to hit better, because right now he's hitting like complete trash. Trash. He almost worked a walk, but couldn't lay off and swung and two different occasions, swung out of the strike zone. Not gonna cut it. Not gonna cut it. So we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. But listen, guys, I appreciate each and every last one of you guys for tuning in to Chicago Cubs Central. Once again, this is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. Make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe. And leave a voicemail, 217-816-5498, as well as you can write me at cubsbaseball1992@gmail.com. Once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next time, peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the number one spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.